When was the last time you actually bought a physical game? For a lot of people, maybe you can't even remember. And this week, Sony announced that beginning in January 2028, every new PlayStation game will be digital only. That means no discs whatsoever, no collector's editions, nothing. And on top of that, Xbox announced that their next console will not even have a disc drive in it. So I want to raise the question, are we witnessing the official death of physical gaming? We'll talk about that on Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers.
That's right. It is dark days. It's kind of funny. We just did, boys, our timing of our episodes really poor. We just talked about how gaming has been saved. Now we're here talking about how gaming is now dead. The end of gaming is coming. No. So thanks, guys, for joining us today as we talk about Sony effectively killing all hopes and dreams that gamers actually are buying what they think they're buying.
Yeah, it's any hope that we had of like actually owning something when it comes to games is pretty much just gone at this point. I think Sony kind of put the final nail in the coffin and said, you are going to be buying licenses for games and you are going to like it because you have no other choice.
Let's just put up the actual post. It's just so everyone can see it. This is actually on Sony PlayStation's blog. This is their website saying that the end of physical disc production in 2028. Now, if you're over the age of 40, like myself, that literally is a dagger to the heart. I personally still love buying actual discs and hard copies. And I gotta tell you, I never thought that this day would actually come. Like for me, the whole point of a Sony PlayStation or an Xbox, the actual point of getting it is to putting a thing inside their consoles.
Yeah.
So to see that this day has already come this fast, I'm not into like eschatology or predicting when the end of the world is happening, but I think it could be 2028, probably January.
Jesus better be coming back soon.
Yeah. you guys,
yeah,
go for it.
It's really weird because I get why they're going here, but like in the midst of all this push for exclusivity, one of the things that people liked about like exclusive titles is the collector's editions for games, and actually getting like physical things that represent what you're buying for, Xbox collections, PlayStation collections, whatever it is, like having the physical games, having the physical media that you can keep and show off is a big part of a market for video games right now. And PlayStation is basically just completely cutting that off. And the scary thing is this isn't happening in isolation either. This isn't just a PlayStation thing. About the same time Xbox came out and gave some news about their newest console, the next Xbox console is not going to have a disc drive at all. They're not building a disc drive. So they are probably going to be moving into the same exact space. They may make physical games for the Xbox Series game consoles, but I expect it wouldn't be too long before Xbox stops making physical games completely also.
Yeah, they're not exactly friends, but I definitely think that they pay attention to what the other's doing. And, I'm pretty sure that they caught wind of this. Executives talk. So I'm pretty sure Xbox knew that Sony was going to announce this. And they must have been having talks because they've already released consoles that don't have drives in them. Sony PS5 came out with without you being able to insert a disc in it. So,
and I think the Series S doesn't have a disc drive either. The Series X did, because that's the one I bought originally, but I think the Series S didn't have any ability to play physical games.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my PS5 to my right. It's overheating. I changed the heat sink and all that, and it's still overheating. But it's the one that has a disc in it. And I'm thinking, I was just, with the price, thanks to the AI bros, The price of everything has gone up. The price of the Xbox has, the PlayStation has gone up. Uh, the GameCube, which we're not even going to talk about, died thanks to the AI Bros because of pricing that unit.
Gosh, yeah,
$1,400, $1,400 for
yeah.
an alleged console. Oh boy, no one's going to pay that price.
For a severely underpowered console too.
Right, that's the Nintendo Switch. We're used to that.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, there goes a
Hey,
Nintendo
listen,
sponsor. Yeah.
I like my Switch. Okay.
Well, I think it's better price, right? Like 500.
Yeah.
Would you pay 1,500 for the Switch? I'm pretty sure you wouldn't.
Hell
So
no.
yeah,
Absolutely not.
yeah. I don't even think you'd pay 1,000 for a Switch, unless you're getting
No,
gouged.
definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, it's interesting. I think what we should do is take a little bit of a business approach of like, why would Sony and Xbox want to do it? And then we can talk about why we don't like it. But there is a legitimate reason for companies to want to move away from physical games. So there are a couple advantages. Is there something you wanted to say before we got
No,
into
no, no.
that?
Go, dude. I actually want to type something.
Oh, okay. But I think there are like this isn't just Sony and Xbox being malicious and like how we're going to take away physical games from gamers. Like there is legitimate reason for this. If you're just making digital, you don't have any manufacturing costs. You have no shipping costs. You no longer are having like the Walmart, Target, GameStop taking their cut from the retailers. There's no used market. That means like if someone wants to buy the game, they have to buy it brand new from you. And every sale goes directly through you. You have the final say on every game sale, things like that. So there's a pretty big cost advantage there because this is the other interesting thing in this announcement. Sony actually said that they estimate approximately 80% of their game sales to actually be digital already. So this was actually a pretty big loss leader for them because most people have been buying digitally, and in order for them to actually stock these stores and stuff, they've been producing a lot more than they maybe needed to, and it actually isn't going to affect too many of their customers. So, I mean, to a certain degree, this is kind of already what gamers have been doing. Not everyone, certainly, but I think the vast majority of people. I can't. I remember the last game, like physical game, I purchased was in 2022. I have not purchased a physical game since 2022. Everything else has been digital.
Wow, even for your Switch?
Oh, well, that's true. Never mind. For the Switch, I have. So for my Switch 2, I haven't bought any digital games. So I bought one. When was the last actual Switch game I got? I want to say it was 2024, probably, that I bought a physical Switch game. Everything else I've bought through the Nintendo eShop.
Yeah, tough. So thanks to Scruffy and his generation, we have now we're all suffering. We're all dying. The thing I wanted to type up is what's the actual cost to make a disc? And it costs for a third party, for someone who isn't PlayStation, so their numbers are going to cost more. It says it costs $10 to $15 per disc. So if you're a third party, that's $10. Let's just be nice, or for the consumer perspective, it only costs them $10 to put a video game inside of a Best Buy or something, a physical unit
Hmm.
in that store. So of the $50 or $60 that you would pay, $10 is to just have it in that very store.
That's not an insignificant margin.
That isn't, but my problem is will they lower the price of those video games now? And
Oh,
the answer
absolutely
is
not.
no. So from a consumer perspective, I don't care how much it costs you. You're going to charge me 60 if you can get away with it, $100 for that video game, regardless of whether there's a disc or not. And for me, then give me the disc, right? As a consumer, then give me the disc. If you're not gonna lower the price, because it should be, we should have been seeing a value proposition for digital only copies and saw savings of $10 to $15. And this is the internet, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it says it only costs $2.50 for Sony PlayStation That's their internal cost is $2.50.
Mm.
So it's pretty nominal. If you're charging me $80 for a game, you can spend $2.50
Yeah,
to make a
that's
physical disc. Oh, what are you really saving? And I think what they're really doing is they're just trying to squeeze out resales. I think the real play is to
yeah.
kill the resale market so that if you want to play it, you have to buy it, and so that they can capture a higher, because GameStop probably has some significant margin of the player base. And I'm pretty sure Sony PlayStation has figured out, even though the game sold 1 million times, there's probably 1.5 million players. And they're like, how do we get 50% more sales? How do we get those 500,000 people who played this game, but somehow we only sold 1 million copies, but 1.5 million people played it? Oh, I know.
Mhm.
We got to go digital only. So I think that's one reason why they're
Yeah.
doing it, for business reasons. And then two, the scarier side, so that they have full control. And when we talk about it, I know we have it somewhere in this doc, licensing.
Yeah, that's the next thing we're going to talk about.
Let's get into it, because I think that's the real reason
Romans
we're
is
doing this.
actually reading the show doc. This is amazing.
Hey, if Sony PlayStation can kill games, I could read a show doc.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of big problems that come about with like this complete full move to digital, and I think there's some significant things. The biggest one, I think, is that now you are not actually owning a game; you're owning a license to play the game, and there's a number of problems that come with that. This has already happened with a number of games where the developer ends support for the game and just takes the game offline. Like even for single player games where there's no like servers or anything that you need to maintain, they can just flip a switch and all of a sudden you have at one point you have a game, and then all of a sudden boom, no game. You own nothing. You just gone like the wind.
Yeah, Ubisoft has gone on record saying that from going forward, Ubisoft is actually saying that you never actually buy our games. You're only
Mm-hmm.
buying a license to play our games, and we will determine when that license ends. And that's kind of where they got under fire under the Crew. When the Crew game came out, they took off the online servers. What's crazy about the online servers contained a single player campaign.
Mm.
So the Crew effectively, if you own that game, which would be funny because now you don't, you can't play it anymore. You can't even play the single player campaign. A campaign that shouldn't require anybody else but you and your, however you're playing it, your video game, your PC or whatever, to play it. You can't. And I
Yeah.
think that's the real danger of digital only gaming, even though people like Scruffy traders only buy digital apparently since 2024. Where are you 2 years ago? I just recently bought a physical copy of Pokemon Shield. I always forget which one we bought at a fair just past weekend. So I'm doing my part. Are you doing your part, Scruffy?
No, I already admitted it. No, I'm digital only at this point.
Yeah, the very fact that we are no longer actually buying a game, and I really feel like that's kind of where people have lost the sauce. The game developers have lost the sauce. Like they have forgotten or don't care about where this all come from. At the end, they were buying
Mm-hmm.
games. Kind of like the original version of this is the board game. In back in the day, you bought a board game. So fast forward, that's like Monopoly saying, "Hey, thanks for playing our game," and ripping the board game out of your hands and say, "Hey, thanks for the money, but we're taking the board game back." And that's my problem with
Yeah.
digital only gaming is I can give you some number between $50 and $100, and you're gonna determine when that $50 to $100 no longer transacts into anything. So did I really buy a good, or did I buy a temporary good? Did I really buy a service? Maybe. And that's really where my anger and frustration for this space comes in, because I want to buy a good. I'm giving you $60 up to $100, which that's giving me. I can't wait. We have to document the day that I spend $100 on a video game, because it might be 2030. Like your whole GTA crowd. Let me just take a little detour, Scruffy. 2 minute detour for all you people who say that oh, GTA 6 is a great deal at $80, is $100.
It's insane.
50% of the world is gamers now. The market supply and demand has completely skewed than when 10 years ago. So sure, you might say, oh, you're gonna get 1,000 hours playing GTA 6. Of course it's worth $100. What else could you do that you'd spend 1,000 hours on? You go to a concert, it's only 3 hours and you spend, $300 on those tickets. You go to a WWE wrestling match and you spend $1,000 for front row seats for WrestleMania. You can't compare in person front row seats of a wrestling match of actual humans risking their lives
Yeah.
to do crazy stunts compared to a video game that you could kill in 3 years or whenever you want, and you still want
Yeah.
$100. And we talk about half the world is playing video games. This applies through the
Mm-hmm.
roof. Like, the part of the reason why the indie gaming market is so great is that you can now sell 1 million copies of your video game to the whole planet. So you don't have to sell it for $100 because now you're selling it. There's so many sales. There's so many people who
Yeah.
can buy it. You're gonna make a huge profit. So I don't buy into games should be $100. It's been $60 for the past 10 years. We should really increase it. I'm like, no, because we've increased from 10 years ago globally. Globally, the global market was around 20% gaming, and now it's like 33%. I forget. I'm totally throwing off my math. But in the last 10 years, we've increased by 50% global gaming. You can't
Mm-hmm.
tell me that you need to increase the price, because if it's digital only, you don't care if you sell 100 or 100. It doesn't. All it costs you is
Yeah.
the keys. You have to create a new unique key for that game. We're talking pennies here to create a game key.
Yeah.
And then if it's an online server and all that, I can get behind increased costs of online gaming. But most gamers are single player gamers. Like, the majority of
Yeah.
us, it's just that you force us to play your games online. And that's going to be the narrative. Oh, all our games are online. Like the crew had a single player campaign. There's no reason why the gamer had to be online to play that game. It was a single player campaign.
Yeah.
You're forcing us to be online so then you could say, oh, we have all these servers to maintain. You don't have to maintain any servers for most games. Let them install it on their unit. You want to connect to it so that you can sell stuff in your stores, your DLC stores, your skin stores, like whatever UGCs you want to sell. Oh man, I could do this
Yeah.
all day long. You should not be selling
It's
games for $100 right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing that's crazy about it is that you have all these like price increases, but the other thing that's considered not just for new games but for legacy games, like there is a legitimate case to see like games could completely die in like the next 20 years. Especially like you have games like, Expedition 33, which is a really really great game that if something were to happen in 20 years, it's possible that no one would ever have the ability to play that game. There's Sony has been closing some of their storefronts, like, and people are losing music, they're losing movies, they're losing games that they've bought a long, long time ago. And now, I mean, people have potentially spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on media that they are completely losing access to because Sony is chosen to close that storefront. And this is like, we're really only at the beginning of this. Like, imagine if this could happen, Amazon could do this with all of your Amazon movies. Apple has the potential to do this. Like, this is a really really dangerous front we're going into. And we don't want to get political or anything on this podcast, but like, legitimately there is an issue of censorship where if the wrong people get in power, and then games, movies, music can potentially be deplatformed. If everything's digital and you just have a license, there is a legitimate threat for things to just be pulled out of circulation.
Well, let me correct my numbers earlier because they're way higher than I was saying. In the last 10 years, we've added 1 billion gamers. Imagine any other business where 1 billion customers are now existing 10 years later. You,
Yeah.
the profit margin through the roof. It says we're 61% of the world now games. Yeah, so it is just a shame that somehow our fellow gamers are somehow using are justifying the increases to $100 per video game. Uh, we have to represent the cost to make it, and a lot of video games are overproduced. Like, we've already talked about
Mm-hmm.
Skull and Bones. It took them 10 years to make a video game. It shouldn't take you 10. It shouldn't take you 10
Yeah.
years. GTA 6, literally another 10-year video game. And will it actually be good? I don't know. I have my doubts. I have a really big doubt that GTA 6 will be a very good video game, even though it took them 10 years to make it. It's gonna sell well. How much
Yeah.
did you see how much it sold in 24 hours? It made
No, I didn't
three
pay attention.
it made $3 billion in 24 hours.
It's insane, man.
Three
For a game you have no clue what the gameplay's going to be like. You have
three
I mean, you get
oh
have some, but like that's insane. $3 billion for a promise of a video game later that is from a series that's well known. Yes, but they've been literally working on it for a decade and you know nothing about it. Makes no sense.
yeah, I'm calling it now. It's gonna be a very weak story. I have a GTA has always been a brutal game. That's why neither you or I have played it because it's
Yeah,
been super
no.
violent, but like super bad. This one I think is gonna be super. I'm calling now. It's gonna be super woke, and they're again looking for that modern audience. Like look at Supergirl, looking for that modern audience. It doesn't exist. It's lost. Supergirl's
Yeah.
lost $100 million. All the profit that the last Superman movie made is now lost on the Supergirl movie because they're in search of the modern audience. So video gaming, we've done a bunch of episodes where when you look for the modern audience, you find out it doesn't exist. We still want what we've always wanted. We just want real video games, not political messages. A
Yeah.
great gameplay, great fun, and they'll make it $100 because then you know you're gonna sell a skin for $50 anyways. Every video game now literally sells skins of other video games or popular media. Hey, you want to be Keanu Reeves? You want to be John Wick? Like, I'm actually surprised the James Bond movie hasn't sold John Wick skins because they would make so much money. Imagine if you could play
In
James
Double
Bond.
O Seven as John Wick.
Yeah, you'd make so much money. And all you're doing is selling a skin of Keanu. It would
Yeah.
print itself. Mm.
It's wild. Yeah, I think you touched on it briefly too, but I think the last like problem that I have, and this is something that I actually experienced because this is something I would do a lot with Switch games, is lend games to people. You can borrow an actual physical copy. Like I'm currently borrowing a Switch game from a friend of mine because he had the physical copy and he sent it over and he like gave it to me at church and he's like, "Here, just return it when you're finished." That is completely gonna, well, maybe not completely go away because Nintendo has a way to share games. You can share game libraries on Steam, but it's not the same. And those are all digital services that those storefronts offer, which means they can take it away.
You know, one of us on this call really loves Star Wars. One of us, huh? It's probably me. And Scruffy is probably being like, what is he talking about? Star Wars would never exist as a movie if it was a digital only movie. If you think back to Rogue One,
Because of the Death Star plans. The Death Star.
what would be Rogue One if it was digital only movie? That ending scene of the movie where Darth Vader is like cutting through guys, right? He's cutting through guys to get that stolen data that the soldiers are passing to each other. That is physical gaming. So thanks to physical gaming, Rogue One has a plot, Star Wars has a plot, and Luke Skywalker was able to take down the Death Star. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm cooking. I'm pretty sure they're cooking. And I didn't think of this as coming from Riff, or one of our mods of Reach. He said Star Wars would have been real boring without physical media. So I'm just saying, we should be grateful for physical media. It saved the universe. It saved,
A long
like,
time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
yeah, like that's why this guy got miniaturized. Right? That guy was terrorizing the whole universe. But thanks to physical disc, you're welcome. You're welcome, world. We did it. We stopped Darth Vader. So yeah. Anyways, that's my little joke for today's episode. Oh, speaking of other joke, what are we doing about this trading situation? Scruffy, are we done talking? Have we captured all of the shenanigans of lending games? Oh, we have one
I
more.
think Yeah, I think
Whoopsies.
there's like just a little bit I wanted more
Okay.
talk about is, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. What's interesting is like games like GameStop and physical game stores. I think it'd be interesting to see what happens because GameStop has already been making the hard pivot away from like gaming, like video gaming, to collectibles and IRL gaming. They are leaning hard on the TCG side of things. Like I haven't been to a GameStop in a while, but I was looking just for my actual job, looking at some of their profit reports, and the vast majority of their revenues is coming from collectibles, from board games, card games, things in that genre. So it's really interesting to see Xbox or not Xbox, but GameStop kind of already saw the writing on the wall. But it'll be interesting to see how some of these more like mom and pop shops, what they'll do if we'll see some more of these game stores that actually pop up to try to preserve the physical medium of video games. Because it's very obvious that these companies are not interested in that anymore. They're specifically focused on digital, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with the IRL game stores, with video game collecting and things like that. I really don't know exactly what we're going to go to, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and GameStop is doomed. From a gaming perspective, I was just kind of curious to see how the stock price seems to not care about this information. I thought for sure GameStop
Yeah.
would go up because people are going to go crazy about running to the stores. This is your last chance. You have 2 years left to buy physical video games. But the stock price looks like it hasn't moved at all. We should probably check. I was just about to say some other website, but I don't want to say that website because I haven't even told you, Scruffy, but there's a certain website that everyone is using to bet on the World Cup and stuff like that. Those two websites that do that.
Oh gosh.
And I've just determined not to mention it because I think that these guys are real scum of the earth, and
They
they're
are. They
they're
absolutely are.
they're ruining an entire generation of humans by promoting. So I won't even say their name anymore because I'm so upset about how terrible the degeneracy of that website. Because it totally makes sense. Like I get why it's doing well, but I hate it that it's doing well because it's going to destroy an entire generation, making them all gambling fiends, making them all
Yeah.
zombies. So yeah, I think the mom and pop stores are doomed. 2028,
Yeah.
you're the writings on the wall. If you are listening to this and you own a game store, you have to pivot. And it's kind of what you have to do anyways in the AI generation we're in. You should be pivoting all kinds of ways already. This is just another reason to pivot while you're pivoting. People will always want physical goods. We're not going to be digital only in every way. You can't eat a digital smoothie, so there'll always be
Yeah.
something that people tangentially will need. What am I? There's some word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Starts with a T.
Tangentially.
Yeah, that one. Um, yeah, and I also think that collectors are also doomed. I don't know how you do collect. If your favorite game comes out and it's digital, I have no idea.
So this is wild. I experienced this. I
Hmm.
wanted to buy the collector's edition for Star Wars Galactic Racer, but they had like a limited run of like, we're only going to put out whatever, however many. And it's been literally sold out since 2 days after they announced it. Like in the US, completely sold out. And everywhere I've been asking, like I've literally DM'd them on Instagram, was like, hey, what's up? I want to buy this. And they're like, oh, well, we're probably, if you're in the UK, you can buy it. But if you're in the US, we're not really distributing anymore. And I'm like, how does this make any sense? And they're like, but you can still pre-order it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pre-order your game. You're not going to sell me like the thing I want. I'm not going to pre-order your game, which also you shouldn't be pre-ordering games anyway, but it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Well, you have a friend who travels the world. I'll be in Europe soon. I'll be in Europe mid-August for Gamescom in Germany, so I could buy the German
Oh, that's
version.
right. I
If
mean,
you don't mind it if it's in German, von Hagendas von BMW. I don't know. Oh,
I've
there
been
goes our
meaning to learn
German viewers.
German
We just lost
anyway,
our German
so
viewers. Oh, it's tough. It's tough out here in these
thanks,
streets.
Freddie.
Yeah, so yeah, why don't you be the evil guy now? Tell us why digital is good, and I could just shake my head the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some small things that are good with digital. Like it keeps your games organized. When the Steam machine eventually or GameCube or whatever they're calling it these days, when it ever becomes an actual console that's viable, it will be nice to be able to share a Steam library with everything. Um, there's some cloud advantages to it, but I think yeah, there's some nice things that lend themselves to digital gaming. You have things like Xbox Games Pass, the Sony PlayStation Pass thing. I'm sure before too long, Steam will probably have something like that. Steam sales, man, Steam gives you the most insane sales where if you want to, you never have to buy a game full price for the rest of your life because Steam always has amazing sales. And because of digital actual media, they don't have a like physical overhead that they have to keep. There's no like cost of inventory. So, I mean, there's some benefits to it. I think lose that digital media makes things convenient, but not enough to warrant the full loss of physical media.
Yeah, I don't understand how we as gamers will own games. I feel like our future is pretty bleak in that regard. Hopefully, the "Don't Stop Killing Games" movement actually gets some
Yeah.
traction. It died in
Do you want
California.
to do you want to
Yeah.
show that like website? Pull it up.
Y-
So, like,
yeah, sure.
if
Let me
this is
just do it.
yeah, if this is something you actually care about, like there is a full on campaign going on right now
Got
to
it.
help try to preserve gaming as we know it today.
Yeah, so these guys stop killing games. They're trying to push back the narrative because it really sparked from that Crew comment earlier, where the Crew launched in 2024, and when Ubisoft felt like killing it, you could no longer play the single player campaigns, and
Hmm.
that is the core of Stop Killing Games, the SKG movement, is to get legislators and lawmakers, because at the end of the day, that's what you have to do when game companies won't listen. You do have to go political. You do need the government to intervene. Unfortunately, in the EU, it stopped where it was having the most traction in the EU, but
Hmm.
they backed off and they're going to make a code of conduct. In the EU, they're going to make some type of like best practices type memorandum. They're not going to force you. And then in California, it was moving well, but then it also died somewhere in the Senate or somewhere in the state legislature where they didn't get enough votes to proceed. And really, I think it's just down to legislators not understanding video games. And the race against
Yeah.
time we're in is it really is that next round of legislators that will understand what gaming is. Right now, all of those folks in government, to be honest, are probably in their 60s or higher. They don't understand what gaming is. They literally think we're all playing Mario Brothers, jumping on Goombas still. They really don't really grasp what's really happening in gaming. So they're not going to care unless you care. So this is one of the few times I guess we're getting political. Go to stopkillinggames.com if you care about and care about this topic at all. It's probably where you need to be. These are the most prominent folks pushing back against this entire narrative. And for me
Yeah.
specifically, if you play a single player game, you should be able to play the single player game until the PC you own blows up. And a lot of
Yeah.
PCs last a long time thanks to the AI bros. I hope you're not building a PC right now. That
Golly,
you
man.
should be
So
able to play.
expensive.
Yeah, you should be able to play your PC game for the next 10 years if it's a single player game. You get thousands upon thousands of hours if you really love that game. If you're a speedrunner or indie or retro, any types of those folks, and really even current day, if the game has a single player campaign, I don't think you can ever convince me that you have a right to kill it. If it's
Yeah.
truly multiplayer, if it's like Marvel Rivals, a game that you and I love, then I
Hmm.
understand why you have to kill it because the whole purpose is to play
Yeah.
with people on servers across the world. Someone has to pay the cost of the servers, and if you can't find a way for the gamers to pay it, then you should shut it down. But single player games, there's no reason. If it's just you playing a game alone without anyone else's need or interaction, just a money grab. Because then you're going to sell me that license again later. You know you're going to sell a
Yep.
remake or a remaster. You're going to come back and sell me that same game that you just killed and you can just keep doing it forever. And I think in the end,
Yep.
I think that's what they're trying to get to. Subscription as a service. They're just trying to turn gamers into sasses and turn us all into Game Pass users. Which to this day, I do not own I don't have a Game Pass subscription, and that's more than likely where this is all heading. Let's just
Wouldn't
give us
surprise me.
all the money, and I think that's a sad place to be, because I think we need to still be in a place where you buy a good and you get to keep the good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a sad day for gamers, but hopefully people at Stop Killing Games and some other movements can actually help keep the thing we love.
Yeah, and you know what else we love? We don't love day trading. We love stocks in the stock world, and we like to buy stocks so that we don't day trade it. So, Mr. Scruffy, have you had time to think of something I should spend $1,000 on to free it from the clutches of day trading?
Actually, yes, because we just finished at our company. We just finished our rebalance, and we have a number of different individual technology companies that have actually been pretty good. So I've got one for you. It's called CoreWeave Incorporated, CRWV.
Wow, what a stock name is that, huh? Oh no, today's a holiday. Oh
yeah,
no.
The stock market's closed today.
What is I can't do anything, man. Oh man.
I mean, you could still put in an order for it to be fulfilled on the neck.
CRVW? What was that?
WV.
CRWV. CoreWeave. All right. $81.75 a share. So let's do a little bit of math. Divide that by 81.75. That is 12 whopping shares. Wait, what the heck? What is happening right now? Oh man, CRWV. Sorry, somehow lost the stock I was doing. 12. Okay, so how do I make this for the future? I guess whenever it's next open. All right, it'll just do it whenever it's next open. All right, cool. So Scruffy has saved another $1,000 from being day traded and potentially lost. And I was hoping to get my update on how day trading, so I'll have to save it for next week's episode. And we can talk about the misadventures in day trading. And on 7-8, we're probably going to do some crazier stuff in that world with the existing gains. And as long as Scruffy continues to tell me where else to throw money, I won't throw money in what will be a sad ending. So stay tuned for a train wreck to come, guys. And thanks for listening to today's episode.
Yeah. But until next time, this has been Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
And through the magic of editing, we are back with a wheel spin for you. And we are about to give away $100. So, Romans, pull up that wheel.
Let's do it. And I've put my name at least 50 times so that I would keep the buddy.
Let's see.
Here are the names. These are all the folks who put a comment in the YouTube video that we said you had 1 week to throw your name hat in the ring, and these are the folks who did. Thanks for 100 subscribers. I'm gonna hit it. You ready?
Ready.
Doing it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh, it's got sound.
Come on, Romans. Come on, Romans. Come on, Romans. Romans.
Oh, barely biblical. Awesome. Which, if you have not heard about, free advertisement here, an amazing art anime, like they're in the middle of making a TCG. Barely Biblical makes some amazing art, so goes to a worthy cause. Yeah,
it's very, I would say, because it uses stuffing and bears, but it tells the stories truly how it happened in the Bible without any fear of folks losing it, because when there's a scene where Ehud from Judges throws a dagger deep inside the belly of that evil king, all the stuffing comes out, which is way more graphic in the Bible. So cool. Yep. Good job. Yeah. All right. That's the winner. Woo! Let's go. $100. So what will we give next? How many subscribers do we need before we do another one of these? just giving back to the community because that's who we're serving. We're obviously doing the podcast because we enjoy it, but we also do it because the whole purpose is to
Mm-hmm.
fall out of financial debt. And what better way to do it but throwing money at financial debt? That's literally how you. I don't know any other way to get rid of financial debt the clean way other than throwing money at it. So here's our little $100 ding at Barely Biblical to throw it at any debt he has in his place. And all we can say is once we get enough subs, we'll do it again. So let that number keep rising.
Woo!
All right.
Talk to you later.